If you've opened up your relationship, is there something wrong if one of you isn't as sexual as the other? Are you sexually inadequate? I'm Cathy Bartoli from intimacydojo.com.
I'm Andi Cortland from levelupsex.com.
I'm Raj. I'm just a regular guy. I happen to be married to Andi.
And Raj and Andi are in an open relationship.
Yes.
And this is part of the dynamic where Andi is much more sexual than Raj.
Yep.
And especially in the sex positive community, there's a lot of connection and mutual support for being very sexual. How has it been for you in terms of, like, if you're not as engaged, and we'll talk about in another video, you're not as into the scene of play parties?
Right. Yeah, first of all, I want to preface it by that, you know, as a cis straight guy, I can often be perceived as having a lot of privilege in the world. And some of the stuff that I'm going to say is just my experience,
Yeah.
and I don't intend to be offensive to anyone, especially since a lot of the sex positive community has people who are very queer and identified in many different ways. So I was having brunch with a friend the other day who's very, very much into the sex positive, kinky, all of that stuff. And we were talking about some of these challenges. I was talking about some of my challenges with him as a partner to somebody who's very much in the scene. And I said, sometimes it feels like you can't be friends with somebody in the sex positive community unless you're fucking them. And he was like, no, that's not true at all. And then he was like, wait, you know what? Let me think about this. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can truly be sex positive even if you're asexual. You're not having sex with, or don't want to have sex with other.
Yeah, and that's a very common, you're right, that's a very common misconception that I see, that being sex positive often gets conflated with having a very high sex drive, having a very spontaneous sex drive.
And they can go together, but you can also be positive about sex and think people can be self-expressed when you're not sleeping with.
Right, I think some people
or anyone.
Or anyone who don't have a very high sexual desire or need for sex or a requirement desire for sex. So I think it's really important to know that, and it's very important for partners who are not that into sex to sort of feel accepted in the community and get the support they need from within the community, because trust me, you don't get that kind of support outside the community.
Well, they won't understand.
Exactly.
You were talking about the shame you felt. Could you talk about
Absolutely. Like, the shame comes from many different ways. When you have a partner who's very, very sexual and you don't feel that way, there automatically is a feeling of, oh, is there something wrong with me?
Yes.
Am I supposed to be this way? And that's compounded by the fact of being a cis straight guy.
Where all the society pressure.
Yeah, because society really believes, that the norms of masculinity say that guys are the one who's supposed to have sex all the time. They're supposed to initiate all the time. And that when you're not really that into sex, or I'm definitely not asexual. I just don't. I want to have a lot of sex, but space it out a little bit. As I tell all my friends, all people in the sex positive community, I want to fuck all of you, just one person a week.
And one at a time.
And one at a time. So. When you don't fit, so there's all of this cultural norms about men, being the initiators, being, highly desiring of sex, that, we're all subject to. Even in the sex positive community who are highly educated, we can't really get us out of those norms all the time. And it's important so that can often lead to feelings of sexual inadequacy. It's like, oh, am I not man enough? Am I not, is there something wrong with me sexually? And it is an ongoing process, but I'm gradually learning to accept that that's just the way I am, and I can't force that to change. And I just need to be comfortable with it and not ashamed about it. It's not a process that's complete yet, but it's something that I'm working through.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Welcome.
I love the vulnerability you both bring to this. Where do you feel inadequate or unsupported, and what shame do you have? Sometimes just naming it can help defeat it.
Exactly.
And,
It shrivels up in the sunlight sometimes.
Yeah. So if you feel courageous enough, feel free to share below, or let us know what questions you have. Thanks.